Good morning. This is the Great Basin fire potential briefing for Sunday, September 4th. Looking at the impact map, we have wind concerns today where you see the orange across western Nevada and into a good portion of central and eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, gusts approaching 30 miles per hour, very low humidity. Also today, you see the red area, which indicates near record heat, along with dryness. We also have some very isolated thunderstorms, maybe just buildups, maybe a brief lightning strike or a sprinkle, nothing significant, lingering quasi-monsoonal moisture still in our southern areas, and that'll be the mainstay the next 2 to 3 days. We'll have lingering breezes again tomorrow in western Nevada and into parts of eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, probably closer to 25-mile-an-hour gusts as opposed to the 30 or 35-mile-an-hour gusts today. And then just the winds diminish on Tuesday, but we're hot, dry in all areas. And again, maybe isolated buildups in the southern third of our area, but nothing consequential. Looking at the smoke forecast for this afternoon on the left, this is near the surface, and then tomorrow afternoon, again, you can see the trajectories of the smoke. This is the surface, and this is the vertically integrated smoke from the surface on up through 6,000 feet above ground level. And you can see again, especially as you get into parts of central Idaho and where the smoke trajectory pushes back into Montana tomorrow afternoon. We had just a few lightning strikes in our far southern areas, some spotty precipitation through there. New starts, a few of them in some of those lightning areas, nothing going too big. Fuels there still quite moist from the entire summer monsoonal season, but initial attacks pick up some small fires in northern Utah, northern Nevada, and precipitation, it has been bone dry. You can see on the right-hand side, this dark red is 0 to 5% of normal weekly rainfall. We just had some spotty precipitation here across parts of Utah, but nothing much at all. And you can see the reflection on the 100-hour fuels. This area of red, our lowest fuel moisture of 5% or lower, covers just about the entire area at this point. A few donut holes, but those will quickly fill in. And looking at some areas of interest in eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, these were some of our holdouts that did have a bit more moisture than the rest of Idaho. They have really gone up. You can see poking up beyond the 90th percentile and approaching record levels in western Wyoming. So those areas now are in play for large fires. On the satellite imagery, high pressure firmly in control. But this deep low pressure area still has enough of a gradient across northern and central Idaho to produce some moderately strong afternoon winds. We'll look at that. And first off, we can see on the high risk, we have W's here for winds across the eastern portion of Idaho, where we also have large fire activity. We do have a heat one here in the Payette, where things are mostly on the hot side. And you can see on the map here, drier air pushing in, some of these upper level winds, 30 to 40 miles an hour. You can see them here, how they look at the surface. There'll be two areas, one in far northwest Nevada and far southwest Idaho, probably gusts in the 20s to near 30, and then across central and eastern Idaho, in the vicinity of some of our fires, maybe not the ones in the Payette, but on the Salmon Chalice, the northern Sawtooth, and heading into the Bridger Tetons of Wyoming, gusts of 30, and this pink area in Wyoming, maybe gusts of 35 to 40, and that'll come with very low humidity here on the right-hand side, upper single digits to mid-teens in all areas. Tomorrow, on the left, high pressure control, the dry air mass in place. We have on the right, high risk for heat in all areas. Again, the concern that plume-dominated, fuel-driven fire is a big concern. I see more areas here in the brown. On the right-hand side, you can see the low humidities once again, maybe coming up 2 or 3% in some areas in Idaho, but still critically dry. We have lingering breezes on Monday, but they're more of the 15 to 25 miles per hour, where you see the areas of dark green to orange, otherwise lighter winds further south. And Tuesday, just high pressure firmly in control, hot, dry. These areas in black through here, these are still some residual areas of quasi-monsoonal moisture, maybe some buildups, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, nothing really too big. But again, the risk for heat, hot and dry continues. Again, humidity dry, single digits to low teens most areas. 3-day precipitation totals. Again, we see these spotty areas of precipitation. We could see an isolated thunderstorm, so a handful of strikes possible. Could increase IA a little bit in some of these areas. Across the Sierra and western Nevada, that'll be the best chance of any ignitions going a bit larger. Wednesday, still high pressure firmly in control. You can see the high risk for heat through here. An interesting feature, a developing hurricane off the Baja coast. We'll have to watch the moisture trajectory very carefully. You see it pushing further northwards, kind of an unusual track. Ahead of it, it'll pull up some more moisture. See some lightning breaking out across western and central Nevada. Could be some breezes up here in Idaho as well with a cold front. So a lot of things going on. We haven't high risked anything yet. We'll wait till we get closer. And then by Friday, there's the moisture pushing into much of California. Heavy tropical rains possible in unusual areas of Southern California. And then as we go into Saturday, the models at this point push this moisture now through the Sierra into the western half of Nevada. So we could see significant wetting rains in some of this area if this unfolds. Still a lot of uncertainty. Hurricanes always can be very finicky. They could track in a different direction, but something we're watching for the longer haul. And you see by that day, we have a lot more yellow on the map as that higher humidity and possible wetting rain start pushing on in. The 7-day precipitation totals, a lot of the stuff in Nevada is on that day 7 period. Right now, the heaviest amounts are across Southern California, lighter amounts further north. We'll see how this progresses as time goes on. The 8 to 14 day shows above normal precipitation for a good portion of Nevada with that tropical moisture lingering. We'll see if it gets into Idaho. Otherwise, the core of the heat finally shifts further off to the east. Will be closer to near normal early to mid-September temperatures. And this concludes our briefing. Have a great day.